Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and today we are going to be making this card right here. If you are familiar with my videos and you've watched some before, you'll know that this is part of my Christmas Club series, and we have a class that we meet once a month. We make 12 cards for each of 3 different designs, and so they go home every night with 12 cards once a month. And so by the time that Thanksgiving rolls around, Thanksgiving weekend, they will have all their cards made. They will have 60 handmade cards because we've been meeting for a while. So that's outstanding. They will take the burden off Christmas. But this is what we're making today. And I do have a tip for you. So this is a cute technique that you can actually use with any shape. All right. So it's really cute to do a heart. You could do different colored strips, rainbow colored strips, and do a small heart punch out of each one and make it look like hearts are dripping. So it's really cute. But this just gives it a little flash. We are using a couple different things that I want to go over with you. We are using things in the Wrapped in Plaid suite, which is right here. If you love everything in the Wrapped in Plaid suite, which is the tree punch, which we are using today, the plaid paper, which we are using, the bells, which would be adorable tied onto something, the box, the ribbon, and the stamps. If you like all of it, there is one price where you save 10% on the whole kit and caboodle, and it would make these things over here. Look at that ribbon, is great, and I wanted to use it, and I just have not gotten around to it. If you don't need everything, what we are actually using today is just the paper and the punch. We are not even using these stamps today. I know, your mind is blown right now. We are using another stamp set. I will show it to you because I want to say I have to say I love snowmen because they just make me smile, but I think this other stamp set, I'm flipping pages while I'm talking to you. I know you're getting a good look in here. All right, I must have passed it. Besides the happy snowmen, this has got to be my new favorite set, and I think it's probably going to be my go-to set. If I could find it, it would be my go-to set. It is something like teeny tiny holiday or very small Christmas. Oh, here it is, itty bitty Christmas. I was close. It has all different kinds of stamps in there, and they're all not too big. This is the Celebrate the Season. It's this one. Just so you know, also, unless it specifically says that Celebrate the Season is exactly that size. So everything is to scale here unless it actually says, we've shrunk this down. So you can look and get a good feel for it. But these are very small. They have 2 from. They're perfect for tags. Perfect for tags. And I'm using some other things with them in upcoming videos. So you'll definitely see more of these. But right now, we are using the Celebrate the Season stamp set from that, the trees, and the paper. I'm going to show you a tip on paper usage. So that is going to be my big take-home message today, but I'm going to show you how to make this card. So let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do is make our base. This is shaded spruce. The reason that I knew that I needed to use shaded spruce paper, besides the fact that it's an awesome green, is because when I looked in my paper pack of my Wrapped in Plaid paper, it's the 6x6 paper that coordinates, it actually says it's got Cherry Cobbler, Night of Navy, Shaded Spruce, and Whisper White in here. And of course, gold. But you can see it's got metallic on one side, not metallic on the other side. And there are lots of different papers in here. I love this one. And you could use that all year. That does not have to be Christmas. Some of these are definitely not necessarily Christmas. They'd be cute as a man's shirt card for Father's Day, something like that. But it gives you a lot of paper. It gives you 4 each of 12 designs, I believe. Yeah, I don't really know that. I will let you know. I'm guessing 48 sheets total for each of 12. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I want to show you a cutting technique, okay, for this. Now, I needed 2 pieces here. And that is okay with me to need 2. That's not a big deal. But how am I going to get the most bang for my buck, most out of my money here? So this is going to be stamped. So we're going to set it aside for a second. I'm just going to bring in my very dirty trimmer. I know, I know, you're saying, disreputable, Amanda, why are you doing that? The reason that it looks so bad is because my other one is the one I cleaned, and this one I thought, hey, the new Stampin' Up! Trimmer is on its way. I'm so excited. And so I didn't clean this one. I'm just holding out. All right. These strips that I used for the Designer Series paper here are 3/4 of an inch wide by 3 inches long. And since this is 6 by 6 paper, that is a very easy, even cut. I am going to, it's 6 inches, right? I'm going to cut it in half at 3 inches. All right. Can you see this? Yes, you can. Okay, so that's 3 inches. I'm going to layer them because guess what? Our trimmer will cut 2 sheets of Designer Series paper at one time. I know, not regular cardstock, but Designer Series paper, or DSP as we like to call it, it does. You can slide it past the cut. This is the cut line here. You can slide it past the cut line to the 3/4 of an inch. Cut. Slide it off, 3/4 of an inch. You're seeing where I'm going with this, right? I'm cutting 2 at a time. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and my last one, because I worked in an actual multiple of 6, or an actual multiple, although I twisted one a little bit. You're going to forgive me because that's what happens. 3/4 of an inch, and there are my last 2 cards. So it made 16, no, it made for 8 of each of these, right? So I can make a lot of cards. 3, 4. So there's 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, 5 cards, 6 cards, 7 cards, 8 cards. Okay, it makes 8 cards out of just one of these little pieces of paper. You still get the taste of plaid, but it's pretty cost effective, right? Because that you're going to be able to use a lot of. Now, I'm not going to use this color today. That's going to be another day because I promised you this card. So that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to actually do what I promised, keeping my word. All right, we are also using the Stamparatus. The reason that I'm using the Stamparatus is I really want this placement to be right where I know it's going to be. And look, it's dirty too because I haven't cleaned anything yet. I'm going to stick this, see my arrow? It means it's going to go way up in this corner. I'm using shaded spruce ink because, again, I know that that color is the color in my paper. It's the color in my Designer Series paper. I'm going to ink up that Stamparatus right there. Can you see what I just did? I just inked that up. And I know that that's all the way in. I'm going to fold down, press on it, 1, 2, 3, lift. And ta-da, it's in the exact same spot every single time. And so if I am making multiple cards, which I know I am, I'm making multiple because I cut all of these beauties out, all of my stamps are going to be in exactly the same place, okay? So how fast could your Christmas cards be now that you know these tricks, huh? All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because it is stamped already. So let's just do that. You can see I'm not using very much glue. Look, hardly anything. I might go a little closer to the edge because I was skinchy on the edges there. I'm going to center it. Liquid glue gives me time to twist it, turn it, and make sure that it's straight. And now I just need to do these parts. So what I need is 2 of these strips, 2 of those strips, and 1 solid green. This is shaded spruce. It's the same size. It's 3 by 3/4. And my tree punch. Okay, so I want to tell you something that you're just not even going to believe. When you buy these punches, they actually belong to you. I know, weird concept, but it's true. So that means you can write on them. You could put your name on them. You could draw little smiley faces. I don't care. But what I did was I followed the point of my tree up and to right here. See that? I made a little line right there, so that when I stick a piece of paper in there, if I just want to punch out, because I just want to punch out a little bit of an edge here, right? I know right where the center of my paper should be, so I can eyeball it a little bit better. I'm going to go to this first line, the line on the left, and I'm looking here, I'm centering my paper, and I'm just going to put my paper into that line. See how that is right there? I'm going to straighten that out, straighten the guy out. Good, and right to that first line, and that is going to be all of my little trees. I didn't show you the back of that. Oh, I know. You love it. Now what are you going to do? Now you're torn. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to stick it in. I see my little red line, so I know that's the center of my paper. I'm going to go to this first line. I'm going to center my paper, go to that first line, and punch. And by the way, these little things that came out, these are also very adorable little Christmas trees. And we had a couple of people just like stick that on the inside of their card. They just trimmed that a little, stuck it on the inside of their card, and it was so cute. When you opened it up, it had that little happy holidays and that. All right, so those are my 2 Christmas tree strips for my outside edges of my card, these 2. And now I am going to punch this. Now, using a punch is not hard, right? So I'm not going to show you how to punch these 3 guys because it's the whole thing. It's the whole tree, the whole Megillah. This one is my center strip. I want it to be shorter. I'm going to go all the way down to this line right here. There's no real line. It's just that little ridge. Centering and cutting. If you're not exact, it's not going to matter. All right, and here's another pointer. When you go to glue 3 things and you're trying to keep them kind of centered with each other, look, I've got this. I'm just going to pick that little dude off. The best thing to do is start in the middle. And that is very counterintuitive. You normally want to start on an edge and work your way across. But if you do that, what is going to happen is you are going to be too far to one side. You're not even going to realize it. You're going to start crowding them together, and then you're going to have a big gap over here. Or you're going to leave too much of a gap when you put your second one down, and then you're going to have too much empty space, or you're going to be squished at the other end. Okay, so we don't want you squished. No squishing. So start on one edge. Just trust me. Just trust me. All right, so now I'm going to add this one. Woo, did you see that little twist? If I had done that with snail, it would have been gonzo. Would have been stuck. I'm going to add some glue on this one. I know this video is a little long, guys, so thanks for bearing with me, but I wanted to show you how to cut those so that you could actually go ahead and make your multiple Christmas cards, because I know you have more than one person you got to say Merry Christmas to. All right, so I have already pre-cut out my, punched out my trees. I have a little bag of trees. Bag of trees is like a bag of tricks. So this is the same cardstock that I had on the bottom there. That is just shaded spruce, not a big deal. This beautiful lustrous thing is, you can see the reflection of my lights. This is the gold foil paper, also gorgeous. And I punched out a bunch of those so that I would have them on hand for my class. And I'm just going to use regular liquid glue on the 2 outer green guys. So there you go, not a lot of glue. By the way, if you use a lot of glue, so help ya. What's gonna happen is it's gonna ooze out. It's okay if it hangs off, that's okay. It just continues the image for your eye, so it's fine. If you use too much glue, it's gonna ooze out from under your tree and it's gonna make a sticky mess. Sticky mess, sticky mess. All right, so there you go, there's 2. And the middle one, I'm gonna pop up. I'm gonna pop it up. And here we go. I'm going to use these mini Stampin' Dimensionals. I cut the sheets in half so that I can carry them with me easily in a little container that I have. But I'm using the little guys only because I'm going to need them in a minute for my star. And so I might as well do it this way. All right, so you just squeeze them on there. And then you pick off this paper. If the paper is giving you fits and you can't get the paper to come off, what you can do is just pierce it a little bit with your thumbnail or your fingernail, or you can use your scissors, whatever works for you. Normally it's not this hard to get off, but you know, sometimes we're impaired. That happens. All right, and I'm gonna put this one way up here. Good, give it a little pressure. And now I just need my star. I punched out these stars in advance also, and I used gold glimmer paper. If you, any star you have, okay, so if you don't have a star punch, I don't think we have a star punch currently in the catalog, that's okay. We have a lot of different dies that cut out little stars, and you could use that, or you could use an old punch like me. I used an old punch, sorry. All right, and that is just gonna be centered on top, and it's done. My card is done. I would add an inside panel for a card that I would sell at a craft fair, but for all intents and purposes, it is done today, and that is all you need. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you see something here you love, or if you don't have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours, and I would appreciate your support of my small business. My website is here for you, and you can always email me also if you are interested in receiving a catalog. You can email me, or you can make a note in the comments below, and with your email address, I will contact you, get your snail mail address, mail you a catalog. All right, so that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we will see you again very soon. Bye-bye.